The Man Who Bought Time 1. The Clock Shop. In the heart of old Kolkata, nestled between a crumbling library and a pawn shop, sat a curious little clock shop. It wasn't famous, it didn't have a name. The signboard had long since faded, and yet people called it Timekeeper's Nest. Its owner, Mr. Tapen Roy, was a silent, meticulous man in his 60s who seemed to age in reverse. His wrinkles were too few, his back was too straight, and his hands, steady as the hour hand, never trembled even while fixing the most delicate cuckoo clocks. No one knew where he lived. He arrived at the shop precisely at 9 a.m. and left at 6 p.m. sharp. And in between, he never looked at his phone, never took a break, and barely spoke a word. Until one rainy afternoon. A young man named Arav stumbled into the shop, soaked to the bone. He looked about 30, wore a cheap suit, and carried a face full of regret. "Please, I need help," Arav gasped, wiping water off his brow. "I heard you sell time." Tapan looked up, eyes narrowing. He said nothing for a moment. Then he stood and walked to the back of the store. Arav, confused but desperate, followed. Behind a velvet curtain was a small room, lit only by candlelight. On the table sat 5 hourglasses, each of a different color, size, and glow. "These," Tapan said quietly, "are not clocks. They are hours." Arav stared. "You mean literal time?" Tapan nodded. "Time you can buy. 1 hourglass equals 1 change. You get to go back and fix 1 hour of your life." Arav's eyes widened. "How much?" Tapan didn't smile. "The price is memory." "What?" "You give up 1 happy memory for each hour. In return, you relive 1 hour of your choice and change its outcome." Arav hesitated. His hands trembled. Then he reached into his wallet. The first hour, Arav's first choice was easy. He was 22 when his mother died. She had called him that day, begging him to come home, but he was too busy partying with friends. "I'll come next week, Ma," he had said, annoyed. She died that night. The guilt had eaten him alive ever since. Holding the glowing red hourglass, Arav whispered, "Take me back." The world melted around him. He found himself in his cramped hostel room, holding his phone. The clock read 6:12 p.m. His mother's name flashed on the screen. His younger self was about to reject the call. "No," Arav whispered. "Pick it up." He did. "Ma?" he said softly. His mother cried on the other end. "Beta, you picked up." He didn't party that night. He booked a bus, went home, and held her hand as she passed away peacefully 2 days later. When he returned to the present, the guilt was gone. But so was a memory, his graduation day. He didn't party that night. He booked a bus, went home, and held her hand as she passed away peacefully 2 days later. When he returned to the present, the guilt was gone. But so was a memory, his graduation day. A blank space remained in his mind where that joyous moment used to be. Still, Arav smiled. It was worth it. 3. The second hour, Arav returned to the shop a week later. He looked lighter, freer. "I want another," he said. Tapan didn't blink. He handed over a blue hourglass. "What next?" "The day I lost Mira," Arav said, eyes clouded. Mira was his college sweetheart, smart, funny, wildly impulsive. They'd fought once, a stupid fight about careers, distance, dreams. She asked him to come to Mumbai and fight for them. He didn't. This time, when the world rewound, he boarded the train. He showed up at her door. He said everything he wished he had the first time. She forgave him. They kissed. They laughed. They danced in the rain. When he returned to the present, she was in his life again. They lived together now. But something felt missing. He no longer remembered the first time he rode a bicycle, the moment his father had let go and clapped as he pedaled alone. Another memory, gone. Still, he was happy. For now. 4. The third hour. Months passed. Arav was thriving. Mira's love, his guilt lifted, his past slowly rewritten. It was addictive. He returned again, this time for a golden hourglass. Tapan frowned slightly. "Be careful." "I know the rules," Arav snapped. "Just one more." This hour took him to the day he chose a corrupt boss over his morals. He'd accepted a bribe and covered up a fraud, costing a colleague her job. Back in time, he refused the bribe. He exposed the scam. The company collapsed, but his conscience was clean. Back in the present, he now ran a startup with Mira. Clean, transparent, respected. But he no longer remembered his childhood pet. The dog that had slept beside him every night for 10 years vanished from his memory like smoke. Mira noticed. "You're different," she said. "Colder. Less you." He brushed it off. The 4th hour. This time, he didn't even knock. Tapan looked tired when he entered. "4 memories lost already," Tapan said. "Only 1 hourglass left. After that, no more time." "I want it," Arav whispered. He didn't even explain why. Tapan gave him the last, a pitch-black hourglass that hummed like thunder. Arav used it to fix a betrayal, the day he abandoned his best friend, Kunal, during a legal battle. He had chosen silence over support. Kunal had attempted suicide. This time, Arav stood by him. In the present, Kunal was alive, and they were close again, but something felt empty. He couldn't remember his mother's lullaby, or the feel of Mira's laughter the first time they danced in the rain, or the taste of his favorite mango ice cream. He had fixed everything, and lost everything beautiful. 6. The cost of time. Tapan met him outside the shop one evening. "You've spent all your changes," Tapan said. "I fixed my life," Arav argued. "You rewrote your regrets. But the soul isn't made only of guilt. It's also built on joy, and you sold all of it." Arav didn't reply. He went home. Mira was gone, not physically but emotionally. She no longer felt connected to him. His laughter sounded hollow. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "You're like a photograph of yourself," she whispered one night. "Still there, but lifeless." He had everything he wanted and felt nothing. One evening, Arav walked to the shop again. It was closed, permanently, the windows dusty, the hourglasses gone. A small note was nailed to the door. "Time is not to be bought, only borrowed. And memories are not mistakes." TR7. The last hour years later, Arav became a successful author. His first book, The Man Who Bought Time. It became a bestseller, but he didn't feel proud. He couldn't remember the joy of writing it, or the pain that inspired it. Only the silence of a clock shop that never really existed. Or did it?